What's up nerds, my name is Abdul Nafe and welcome back to a brand new video. And in this one we're going to be learning how to make this amazing render inside of Unreal Engine 5. Now this tutorial is mainly made for Unreal beginners who have very little experience inside of Unreal Engine 5. However, you will be expected to know the basics like navigating the viewport, using the move tool, rotate tool, etc. In this video, we're going to be covering the basics of importing models from Blender, texturing, lighting, and rendering inside of Unreal Engine 5. Now, even if you are an Unreal Engine 5 intermediate user, I would still recommend you to watch this video because it's filled with useful tips and tricks which will help you simplify your workflow. So if you want to take your Unreal Engine 5 skills to the next level, then start this class today. Thank you. Also, by the way guys, if you want inspiration or ideas for your future 3D projects, then be sure to follow me on Instagram at Nafi3D. I post all my 3D work there, and on my stories I post my process and sometimes short tutorials on how to make the stuff that I make. Recently I made this 3D forest inside of Unreal Engine 5. And apart from that, yeah, just be sure to follow me over there, and you will also get notified whenever I post a new Skillshare class or a longer format course. And apart from that, if you want feedback on your art or you want to give feedback on my art, then be sure to DM me or comment on any of my posts and I'll be more than happy to respond to you. And apart from that, yeah, let's start the video. Alright guys, so we are back inside Unreal Engine 5, and here we're going to be creating this amazing scene which you see on your screen right now. So I'm just going to be starting with a brand new project. Now you can just see this, I've just opened the scene and I'm going to be creating another new level, and we're going to be creating this whole scene from scratch. So basically what there is in this scene, if I just go to my regular cinematic viewport, you're gonna see we have some foliage, some grass and some trees right here, and we have this McLaren car model. It's fully textured and we have this in our scene. So it's pretty easy, pretty basic scene, and I'm going to be showing you how to create this from scratch. So I'm just going to be going to file, new level, and I'm going to be creating a new empty level for now. Just create. And if you're starting a brand new project, obviously you're going to start with this, or if you already do have a basic starter content, some starter content and stuff like that, you can use that as well. But I have this, right? So I'm just going to be going to window, and you can just check this ENV light mixer, and you can just use this to create lights, and it's a pretty underrated tool and it's pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create skylight. I'm going to create atmospheric light 0. I'm not going to create atmospheric light 1 because we already do have one, and I'm going to be creating a sky atmosphere, and I'm going to be creating sky volumetric cloud, and lastly create height fog. Now you're going to see we have this whole scene with clouds and a sun in our scene. That's perfect. So with all that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating a landscape. Now for the landscape, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm just going to be simply going to the select mode. Just click the select mode right here and just go down to landscape mode. And now you're going to see we are inside the landscape mode. Pretty easy. And I'm just going to be using the default settings because they seem to work fine. And you can just press create. And now we can see we have this whole landscape. Now we can use this brush to sculpt the landscape. So if I just move this up, you're going to see it's going to go up. We can just sculpt it like that. So the way we're going to be sculpting this is that we have to first decide where we're going to be putting our car model. So I'm just going to be placing it somewhere here. So I'm not going to sculpt this area because if we sculpt it, it's going to become uneven, and then we can't really place our car there, right? It's not going to look believable. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be just sculpting this area. There's some mountains. There's some random mountains back there. Although this is not going to be that visible probably. But still just for the sake of it, and something like that should be good. We can do it from all 4 sides if you want, but obviously it's not that important. It's really your choice, to be honest. What this is going to do is that it's going to create some extra height for the trees, which we're going to be adding later on, and then the trees are going to block some light, and it's going to create some amazing light effects. So that's one advantage you get from doing this. But apart from that, there is no specific advantage of doing this, right? So, oops, my bad. I'm just gonna undo that. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna be just placing my car right here. So right now, if I go back to select mode, by the way, just save your project. I'm just gonna save it as tutorial, right? And it's gonna go crazy, but it's gonna get fixed in just a second. So what I'm gonna do to fix that is that I'm just gonna be going to this direction light. And instead of, actually it's already movable. So if it was stationary, you just have to make it movable, right? And it's going to be fixing those issues in just a bit, right? So you can see most of them are fixed, right? So now what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be assigning a material to this landscape. And the way we do that in Blender, in Unreal, actually make Blender tutorials a lot. So that's why I accidentally said Blender. But the way we do this in Unreal is simply by using the Megascans Megascans bridge. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to press add, and then we can add Quixel content. Now this comes built in inside Unreal Engine 5. If you had Unreal Engine 4, then you would have to install another separate app, which is called this bridge thing right here. And I actually use it with Blender as well. But in Unreal Engine 5, the good thing is this app already comes built in. So that's that. And apart from that, you can just go ahead and search simply Gross. And you can just go to surfaces, because first of all we want the surface, and then we're going to be importing some foliage as well, which we're going to be overlaying it on this landscape. So you can just click this grass material, grass category, and you can just pick any of these. So I downloaded this. I have already downloaded this, and so I'm just going to be just bringing this in. And this is not exactly grass, it's actually just soil, and it's dried grass, so that's going to work fine for this scene. But you can obviously choose whichever one you want. So the quality, I'm just going to set it to low quality because it doesn't really matter that much, because we're going to be tiling it anyway, and it's not going to be that visible either. Low quality I believe is 1K, medium is 2K, the high is 4K, and highest is 8K. So once this is downloaded, you could just press this download button right here. I have already downloaded it. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be firstly selecting this landscape, and we're going to go down. You're going to see this landscape material slot right here. Right, so if I just drag this, if you just drag this on here, nothing's going to happen. So we have to drag it on this landscape material thing, and you're going to see this whole landscape is going to have that material, which is perfect. So that's exactly what we want, and I think the scale and everything is fine, although we could scale it down a little bit if you wanted. So I'm just going to be double clicking on this, and this is a material instance. So I'm just going to be so you can see this tiling X and Y, this thing right here. So if we just set it to, I don't know, say 0.5, both of them, it's going to become a little smaller, because I mean the lower the value in this, the higher your scale is. So I'm just going to be setting it to 0.5. I think that should be fine. Perfect. So next up, let's add the car. So the way we add the car is by using an FBX model. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to my desktop, and I do already have a model right here, McLaren.fbx. If I open it in this 3D viewer thing, which comes inside Windows. By the way, I'm going to be adding this model in the project section of this class. And if it's not there, you can just simply go to Blender. You can just install Blender. But I'm pretty sure you already do have it, because most people who use Unreal Engine do already have Blender. And you can just use this BlenderKit add-on, which I installed. And the way you install this is simply by going to the internet and searching BlenderKit, blenderkit.com, and just press this download BlenderKit right here, and just install it simply by using these instructions. I mean, it's pretty simple and straightforward. It's just the way you install any add-on inside Blender, and I'm pretty sure you're already familiar with that. So you can, inside BlenderKit, you can just search car, and you can just let's just go to free first. And then you can just select any of these cars. So for example, you can select this one. You can even select these toy cars if you want, but I just picked this McLaren one. And once you the way you export a model from Blender into Unreal Engine is pretty simple. So firstly, just delete everything in your project, and make sure the only thing in your project is actually the thing which you want to export. So what I'm going to be doing is that the only thing you can see in this project is this McLaren car. So once that is the case, what you have to do is you simply have to go to File, Export, and just select FBX, right? And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be simply just exporting it wherever you want, although I do already have it inside this desktop, so I'm not going to do that. And once that is done, I'm just going to be closing this. Let's close this as well. And so we're going to be importing this FBX right here. And so the way we import that is by going to the content browser, and we're going to be creating a new folder named car. I already do have a folder named car, so I'm just going to delete everything which you have in this, and I'm going to be just importing it once again. So I'm just going to wait for that to delete, because I did already make this car in this project. But you can just go to your content folder, and you can just right click and new folder, and it's as simple as that. So once everything is deleted, I'm just going to be importing the model. Now, where exactly am I going to be importing the model from? Actually, I used BlenderKit. It's an add-on which comes inside Blender. And if you're learning Unreal Engine 5, then I'm pretty sure you know Blender already. I would definitely recommend you to first learn Blender, then learn Unreal Engine 5, because these two tools go hand in hand. And almost every tutorial out there is going to teach you both of these softwares simultaneously. And by the way, I also make Blender tutorials, so you can check them out if you want. Apart from that, I just use this. If I go to my add-ons menu, you can see Blender Kit right here. I'm just going to be searching car. I am going to be showing you, if you don't have this add-on, how to do it then. So don't worry if you don't have this add-on, or if you don't know Blender at all, then you can still follow along as well. So you can just choose any of these cars. If you have this Blender Kit add-on, I just choose this one, this McLaren, but it does also have a lot of other cars as well. So you can use this one, or you can use anyone with these, right? This Porsche is pretty good. And so once you have this in your scene, I'm just going to be deleting everything. And once you, oops, my bad, I just accidentally added a tire. So I'm just going to be waiting for that to download, and then I'm going to be deleting it. And then I'm going to be importing this McLaren. So just Control Z. And now I'm going to be importing this McLaren. So it is already downloaded. So yeah, perfect. Right, so I already do have this McLaren downloaded, so it just came instantly. Now, once you have your model inside Blender, how exactly are you going to export it to Unreal Engine? It's pretty simple. Just make sure that the only thing in your whole project is this the model which you want to export, and make sure that it's in the center and it's lined up with the ground, right? So once that is done, you can just go to File, Export, and just select this FBX, and you can just select wherever you want to export this model to. I already do have it saved in desktop. You can see this McLaren FBX, so I'm not going to do that. And so basically, once you have that model downloaded, what you have to do is you just have to simply go to Unreal Engine first and just create a folder by right-clicking in the Content tab and just clicking this new folder right here. And I already do have this folder created named car. You can name it whatever you want. But I'm just going to go to Desktop, and I'm just going to be dragging in that McLaren model. So you can see this McLaren model, and I'm going to be dragging this inside Unreal Engine and right here. So it is going to take some time to import this model, depending on how fast your computer is. But yeah, I'll see you when it's done. So the model has been imported, and I'm just going to be crossing this out, and I'm going to see it's going to import a lot of these textures and it's going to import every single mesh alone. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be selecting all of these meshes, and just make sure that all meshes in your folder are selected. You can increase the size of this to see clearly. You're going to see all of these meshes are selected, and once they're selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply select them, and I'm going to be dragging them out, and you're going to see the car is going to be assembled by default. And yeah, that's basically it. But now you're going to be noticing one thing which you're going to be noticing is that the materials are not exactly the way we intended them to be. They're not exactly looking good. So how exactly do we fix them? We're going to be using automotive materials, which Epic does provide itself. It's basically a material pack which you can download from the Epic Store, which you use to download the engine itself. So just go to your Epic Games Launcher. So now I'm just going to be going to Unreal Engine, and you can just go to this marketplace. And here what we're going to be doing is that we are going to be searching automotive materials. Automotive materials. And it should pop up. It doesn't apparently. Just search it. And once you do search it, you're going to see the first one which comes up. It's going to be this one, and you can just simply press this. This should say free for you because you have to first download it. It's around a 3 GB download at the moment, but it might change in the future. So once it's downloaded, you can just simply add it to project and just press add to project and just select your project which you want to add it to. But I already do have it added. So right here, you're going to see, once you add it, you're going to see this folder, automotive materials. So you can just open it. You can just go to materials. And if I open it, you're going to see this exterior category and the interior category as well. So I'm just going to go to, first of all, I'm going to go to car paint, and you're going to see all these car paint materials. So you can just select any one of these. Maybe I can choose, how about I go with the red this time? Because I did go with the black previously. I might go with the red this time. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be selecting the car, and you're going to see all the materials which are applied to this are going to be shown here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be selecting this, and I'm going to be dragging it in the element 3, which is yellow. Of course, we can see it just like that. And I'm going to see what's going to happen is that it looks a little matte. Doesn't look that glossy, and the reason for that is because it does not have anything to reflect off of. Because I mean obviously, if anything is glossy, it does need something to reflect off of. So that is going to be the foliage, which is going to be added in just a bit. So for now, this is perfect. You can obviously tweak this. You can just double click it, and we can decrease the roughness, paint roughness. You can either increase it or you can decrease it. I'm just going to be decreasing it, something like that. Should be good because we want this to be a pretty shiny car. By the way, just save your project because Unreal does crash quite often, unfortunately, and it is going to take some time to render. It's going to take some time to save. So saving this project did mess up the lighting back there, but you can obviously, we can fix it later on. It doesn't really matter that much. You can just look away and just look at it again, and the lighting is going to be fixed. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be applying the materials to the other parts as well. So let's apply this material to the rims first. Just select the tire, and you're going to see all the materials which are applied to the tire right here. So I'm just going to be, first of all, I'm going to be applying this to this yellow part right here, which was yellow before, but now it's red. Apart from that, I'm just going to be going down to this metal folder, and I can simply, let me just apply this brushed metal material to these rims, and I hope it does look good. Looks pretty good. However, I feel like I should add something which is a bit more reflective to this. Frosted reflective, maybe that's good. I'm not exactly feeling that. Actually, it's not even loaded yet. Okay, so that is the material itself, and I think it looks pretty good, although I want something even more reflective. So I'm just going to be applying this M1 Metal Chrome, MI Metal Chrome, which stands for Material Instance. I think that should be fine. Perfect. And I'm going to be selecting this inner part. This inner part is going to be this brake disc, and I'm just going to be applying this black, slightly black metal to it. I think that should be fine. Perfect, cool. And now for the tires, what I'm going to be doing is that the tires look a little too smooth for now. By the way, I'm just going to be reducing the camera speed a little bit because we're moving like really short distances, so we don't need that much speed. And for the tires, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be going to this rubber folder, and I'm going to be selecting this. Let me just select this one and apply it. We're just going to be trying out a couple of different materials. This one doesn't look that great. How about this one? That's pretty good actually. So it's pretty rough, and it has given it a very realistic texture. So that is amazing. And apart from that, what is this white thing right here? McLaren black, is it that? Let me just give it this material. Yep, that's perfect. Cool. So although this is not supposed to be rubber, so I'm just going to be selecting a metal one, and I'm going to be, let me just give it this brass texture right here. I think that should be good, although it doesn't really match it. So I'm just going to be giving this metal brushed. Yeah, perfect. So apart from that, I think everything is good. Let me just move on to the other parts of the car as well. I'm just going to be selecting this one and plastic black. We can just search for plastic. Yeah, we do have a plastic, and let's just apply it to this. And McLaren black, let me just give it this as well. Although it's a plastic, I don't think this part is a plastic, so I think maybe I should give it a metal, black metal. I think that should be better, probably. I think that should be pretty good. All right, now moving on to the lights. So first of all, I'm going to be selecting this light right here, and we can see this glass headlight. So we can just simply go to glass, and we can just select any of these. However, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be selecting this one with refraction, because it's going to make it look a little more realistic. So you're going to see we have this, and the inner headlight emissions. Inside this, what we're going to be doing is that we're simply going to be going to the light menu, and let's just select MI lamp blue, white, sorry, and you're going to see it's going to glow up. And with this, I think this is backlight. No, these are not actually backlights. I'm not exactly sure what these are. Let me just apply this material to this, and then we're going to be seeing what it actually is. I'm not exactly sure what that is, so I'm just going to be leaving it for now. Apart from that, I'm just going to be going down the backlight emissions. You can just give the backlight a red. I think that should be good. Let me just increase the camera speed, and let's just go to the back side. Let's see how it looks. Yep, perfect. So these are the backlights, and they have the red material. Now I want to change the material of this thing right here, this small thing right here, and I can't quite find it. So is it this one, metal gray smaller? Let me just give it this light so we can find out. Nope, it isn't that. So I'm just going to be moving on, and now we can just move on to this windscreen. And now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be selecting the windscreen. Just select this, and where exactly is the windscreen? Okay, so what I was missing was that basically if I select this side mirror, you're gonna see that this actually is another mesh which has its own materials. So now we can see these materials right here. So this is gonna have this orange material which I'm gonna be changing to red. So I'm just gonna go to metal, and we can just select just give it a second, metal, and so I'm just gonna be selecting that, and I'm gonna be just searching my red. And I can just go to let me just search mi car paint red. That's exactly what we're looking for, and this exactly this one as well. Let me just apply this exact same material to that as well. And what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be searching mi red, and let me just go up mi car paint red, exactly what we want. Now I'm just going to be selecting this again, and these mirrors. Now for the mirrors, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to be going to glass. Let's apply this. Let's try and let's look at it and let's see what happens. So you're going to see these mirrors are going to be reflecting just the way we expect them to, right? Although we aren't going to be seeing these mirrors that often. So now I'm going to be selecting this glass material right here, and we are going to be adding a glass texture to this. Although I'm going to be making some tweaks to this. So I'm going to be, first of all, I'm going to be adding this windscreen sun cover. This one right here. Now you're going to see the problem with this car model is that this is actually empty from the inside. So we can't really leave it transparent, right? We're going to have to do some tweaks to this. And I'm just going to be double clicking this. And you're going to see the transmission color. We're going to be reducing this to make it darker. Something like that. Because we can't really afford to show anything inside it, right? And what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be going down. And so I'm just going to be reducing this glass roughness. So I'm going to be setting it to 0. I think it was 0.2 by default. And then we can, I think everything else is fine. The reason why it's not reflecting anything right now is because it doesn't have anything to reflect right now. And it's going to do that once it gets some stuff to reflect. And we can obviously make tweaks and make changes later on. So just save everything because we don't want to lose any progress.